Welcome to Stache Sports, episode 35. Mark Melanson, who was one of the greater Pirates pitchers when the Pirates were making it to the playoffs and looking dominant and looking decent. Mark Melanson was a great relief pitcher that the Pirates had, Mark the Shark, who wore 35. One of my viewers yesterday asked me how I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I can't complain. Didn't lose power during the storm, but had a lot of snow up here, and there's still more coming, but I'm doing good. I'm enjoying doing these videos, even if it doesn't get that many views, but thank you for asking how I'm doing. I'm doing pretty good, can't complain. My health is good and everything else. Yesterday, I forgot to break the news on this podcast that the Denver Broncos have fired their offensive coordinator. That was a shock to me, that the Denver Broncos fired their offensive coordinator. Because the Denver Broncos are 14-3 and were in the AFC Championship game and lost by a field goal to the New England Patriots. And yes, I know that they lost the star quarterback the week before to a broken ankle in the playoff overtime win to the Buffalo Bills. So it's kind of rough that he made it all the way to the Super Bowl. But I guess since he didn't go to the Super Bowl, I guess they need to move on from him. Interesting move by Sean Payton and the coaching staff to move on from an offensive coordinator that just led your team to a 14-3 season, to a 3-loss season. An offense that was pretty decent. I know they had a bad snowstorm in the second half, and it might have changed if they had Bo Nix as quarterback. And if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, there might have been a different story, and the Broncos might be in the Super Bowl today. But that's wild. Lombardi's got fired for making it to the AFC Championship game. Crazy. I mean, some coaches get fired for offenses and doing good, or they haven't been able to produce well. But I think that's just crazy. The Steelers are rumored to be hiring Patrick Graham as a defensive coordinator. Patrick Graham was with the Oakland Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders of late. Las Vegas Raiders of late. And yes, I know people can say, oh, the Raiders defense sucked. This is a bad hire. Let's give the guy Graham a chance. He didn't have that much talent to work with in Oakland, in Las Vegas. He really just had Max Crosby and a couple other ones. In Pittsburgh, he can have T.J. Watt, maybe Cam Hayward, who's getting older. And yes, I know T.J. Watt's getting older and needs to look a lot better than he did last year and get a lot more sacks and get more into the defense. Maybe Patrick Graham, if he is our defensive coordinator, can get T.J. Watt past the offensive line and get more sacks. But we do have Alex Highsmith, Nate Herbig, who's coming up, and more. We have Joey Porter Jr. in the backfield. We have Deshaun Elliott, who will be coming back next year, but got injured this year. That's going to be a huge help in our secondary. We got Joey Porter Jr., who's looking a lot better if he doesn't get the flags. But he'd get a lot of flags on pass interference and holding and other stuff. But we have Nate Herbig and a lot of other young talent on our defense who I think have better defensive players and better defense players than the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders. And the Las Vegas Raiders did have a lot of problems other than their defense. So Patrick Graham is hired as our defensive coordinator. I'll be interested to see what he does. He'll be the one calling plays. A lot of people think, even though we didn't like Terrell Austin, and I thought Terrell Austin's status welcome, it should have been gone a long time ago. A lot of people think Tom was calling the plays on defense. And yes, I know Mike McCarthy wants to run the same defense, and Patrick Graham runs that defense. That's a Pittsburgh's been running the 3-4, I think it is, defense. But we'll see what happens. If that is true, congratulations to him. I can't wait to see what he does with our defense. He has a lot more to work with. And last year, Las Vegas ranked 14th in some part of defense, while the Steelers were not that high. So we'll see what he does with the Steelers' aging defense, who's one of the most high-paid defenses in the league. Let's see if we can turn him around. We have the players for him to do it. They need to play up to their ability. And also, I heard that Simmons, the passing game coordinator for the defensive passing game coordinator for the Washington Commanders or Washington Redskins, like I like to call them on this podcast, might be signing with the Steelers in a prominent defensive role. So we might have Simmons and Graham now in prominent defensive roles. I don't know what Simmons' role is going to be if he is hired. But Graham might be the defensive coordinator if he is hired. So we'll see what happens with that. Simmons, who is the passing game coordinator, is looking pretty good for the Redskins. But we'll see if he comes on the Steelers staff. I'll let you know more on when I know more about this stuff later in the videos. But right now, reports are Graham and Simmons might be coming on to our defensive staff, which is good. We need to get young coaches on that staff that can help the defense. We have a good defense in place, so let's see. I know some people on this podcast who are Steelers fans might want Jim Schwartz, but technically I think Jim Schwartz is still under contract for the Cleveland Browns, even though he might want out because he got passed over for the head coaching job. But we will see. I trust Graham, even though he hasn't been doing good for the Oakland Raiders. But let's see what he can do for us. Hopefully, under this new coaching system and new regime, they don't latch on to coaches as long as they used to under Thomas' era, and if he isn't producing in a couple of years, he's gone with the coaching staff. But we will see. I'm going to give this guy credit. And yes, I know one of my viewers, baseball kid, said that I changed my view on Mike McCarthy. I'm allowed to change my view on Mike McCarthy. It's been 19 seasons since we had a new head coach. Time's going to change, and sometimes I might not like to hire. I might have wanted a young secretary hire like Nate Shieldhouse or Chris Shula, but it is what we got, and I liked his press conference, and the way he was talking changed me a lot. Also, they're going to keep Tom, our quarterback coach, and we got a new offensive line coach. We got James Campen, I think is his name. He used to be the offensive line coach of the Carolina Panthers, and the recent member, he was the offensive line coach for the Green Bay Packers when Coach McCarthy was there. And yes, I know getting old Aaron Rodgers, offensive line coach, I don't know if that means Aaron Rodgers is coming back or if I want Aaron Rodgers to come back. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers comes back. Hopefully the Steelers set a deadline for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision this year so we don't have to wait all summer to see if Aaron Rodgers is coming back for another season. But I don't know if this means Aaron Rodgers is coming back. I think Mike McCarthy is just trying to hire staff that he's familiar with. But we've got a new offensive line coach and probably a new defensive coach, and Simmons will have a prominent role in our defense. We'll see who we get as offensive coordinator. Still talking to people as offensive coordinator, but we're going to be probably just learning underneath Mike McCarthy. And maybe one day there in the future they might call plays, but right now Mike McCarthy's calling offensive plays. So let's hope that Graham's okay and Graham can do good. Let's hope that Graham's okay and Graham shows up and does better for the Penguins. That's what the Penguins need. They need a strong coach that can do good for them. I trust he can do good. A lot of the Raiders players like him, so we'll see. Really, the only person the Raiders really had as a superstar in defense is Max Crosby, and he looked really good with Graham. They didn't have that much other talent, so we'll see what he can do with talent, in my opinion. And yes, I know you can say defense had the Raiders had talent. You can come at me, and maybe in another video I'll talk to you about that too. But in my opinion, I think the Steelers have a better defense than the Raiders and have more of a top talent on their defense since they've been paying high for them. But we will see if Graham is our defensive coordinator, what he can do. Later tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Chicago Blackhawks. The Penguins have been looking really good of late. Let's hope Crosby can get a goal. It's going to be tough tonight without having Brian Rush because he's suspended for 3 games for a head injury. But let's hope that the next man can step up in his absence on that line and help the Penguins, and Brazow can help the Penguins win tonight against the Blackhawks. It's going to be an interesting time for the Penguins. A lot of people at the beginning of the year thought the Penguins might be tanking and thought they might have been sellers at the trade deadline. But right now, the Penguins are fighting for a playoff spot. So let's see if they can do something in the trade deadline. Let's hope they can do something. Maybe they can get a Robertson from Dallas. Robertson is a young 26-year-old who has 30 goals this year. That'd be good. That'd be a good trade if the Penguins can somehow find a way to swing that and get Robertson from the Dallas Stars. But we will see what happens. Let's hope the Penguins can get more players and try to help Crosby get one more cup in this aging core before they all retire. This is a good year, and I trust Kyle Dubas to get a good trade if he trades during the deadline. Or maybe we just stand still since our team is really good right now. We will see what happens with that during the trade deadline in hockey. It's going to be interesting. But I think Crosby scores tonight. I think Malkin scores tonight. And I think the Penguins continue to winning ways. It's the first home game after a 4-game road trip where they won all 4 games and looked really good. Let's hope the Penguins continue to winning ways and continue winning. But we will see what happens to that. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I think Crosby scores tonight. I think Malkin scores tonight. I think Ben Kendall gets another goal tonight. Ben Kendall, who's a rookie, has been looking really good for the Penguins. That's been a really good draft pick for the Penguins. Youth players looking really good, and especially the players that they traded for. I'm surprised Stewart and Slovis have been playing really good, even though they haven't been good in shootouts, but they've been doing good in regulation. But let's hope they can do good again tonight, whoever's goaltender. The Penguins are looking really good right now and looking to continue their winning ways on home ice. So let's see what happens. And yesterday, the Celtics lost to Atlanta, which was depressing. And one of my viewers, baseball kid yet again, said, "You're from Pennsylvania. Or you like Pennsylvania teams. Why don't you like the Sixers? I don't know. I just never really grew up liking the Sixers. I really liked Ray Allen, Paul George, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Rajon Rondo in 2008 when the Celtics were doing good with Doc Rivers as their head coach. And I just really liked the Celtics ever since. But I do like college basketball a lot too. Talking about college basketball, UCF's coach, Scott Dawkins, looks like he's going to get a contract extension. UCF's basketball program is having one of their better years this year in recent memory and looking really good in the Big 12. One of his surprise teams. They've projected the UCF Knights not to do so good this year, but they are defying all odds and looking a lot better. But I can't wait for March Madness to start and the Olympics to start. It's going to be an interesting sports time. If there's any more hires, I'll let you know. Also, I saw that the Buffalo Bills hired the old Steelers offensive line coach. That's good for him. He was a decent offensive line coach. But let's go back to our offensive line coach, James Kappen, who used to be offensive line coach for the Panthers and the Packers. And the Packers. Let's hope he can help mentor young people like Frazier, Jones. If Broderick Jones even plays, who knows? It might be Dylan, because Dylan looked really good, even though in our last playoff game, our offensive line looked really bad. So let's hope this new offensive line coach can help people like McCormick, Frazier, Broderick Jones if he plays, even though he got injured, and our guy looked a lot better behind him. And it is Broderick Jones, and I'm pretty sure it is Broderick Jones' contract year after the rookie contract's up to see if he can pick up his optional 5th year. But I could be wrong on that. But let's hope this new offensive line coach can help. It's going to be an interesting time in Pittsburgh sports. It's the first time we've had a new head coach. Let's give him time to see what he does. We need an offensive-minded coach. I wanted a lot younger offensive-minded coach, but we'll see what happens. But let's hope this new offensive line coach can get the best out of his offensive line, because whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Will Howard or whoever it is, the Steelers need an offensive line to protect the quarterback and give him time to throw the ball to our open receivers, and hope we can get more receivers. But we'll see. Congratulations to Kappen. I get the hire because he is one of Mike McCarthy's old buddies. And Patrick Graham, we'll see if he does good on defense. And Simmons, it'd be interesting to see what his role is and who else we get as our coaching staff. I also saw another report, I don't know if it's true, so don't come at me, that we got hired an offensive line assistant coach for the Dallas Cowboys that worked underneath Mike McCarthy to be our new running back coach, taking it for Eddie Finkner. But we will see if that becomes true. That one's still on the back burner, so I don't know if that one's becoming true or not. But we'll see. I think the Steelers' hires are so far so good. I know a lot of people are not going to like Patrick Graham because of where he came from, but like I said plenty of times in this video, I don't think he had much talent to work with. But we'll see what he does for Pittsburgh. If there's more coaching hires and other stuff, I'll let you know. Also, the Chargers hired a defensive coordinator for Western Michigan to be their new defensive coordinator. Oh, there's some breaking news that just came down, but I couldn't read it. But the Chargers just hired a defensive coordinator for Western Michigan to be their new defensive coordinator. And let's see how that works since their defensive coordinator left to go coach the Ravens. But we'll see what happens to that. This is Stache Sports signing off. Excuse me. Tomorrow, we'll talk about my Royal Rumble predictions and what I think about the Royal Rumble and why I think the Royal Rumble hasn't been booked as highly as it's been booked before. Also, we'll talk more about sports world and other news we have. I saw something pop up on my phone just a minute ago, but I couldn't read it, so if there's anything important, I'll bring it up in tomorrow's episode along with my WWE picks and other stuff. And congratulations to Johnny Dawkins again on getting a contract extension for the UCF Knights. I met the man and he was a great coach. I talked to him before when I used to attend the University of UCF. What a great coach. Great word for the contract extension. But this is Stache Sports signing off. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll talk about the Royal Rumble and other sports world. Thank you for watching my videos. Congratulations to the new Bill offensive line coach that used to coach the Steelers. Congratulations on the new coaching career. Thank you for all your memories as the Steelers offensive line coach. And this is the last time, but this is Stache Sports signing off.